Would guidance from an expert help you to grow your business or career? Or do you seek inspiration for you or your kids? If so, welcome. Behind the Words TV gives you that one-on-one time with famous and emerging authors or content creators. They'll take you where you want to go. Behind the Words TV, right now. Do you need more peace, love, and joy in your life? If so, you're in the right place because this episode of Behind the Words TV is for you. Today is a special show because I have two guests with me who are going to light up this place. And I am Paul Madsen, your host, author of Men Grieve Too, and founder of growmedia.com. With me today is Dar Geiger and Mary Robinson. Ladies, welcome to the show again.
Hello, Paul.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Hey, I've had both of these women on the show before, but here we are together, and you might ask, why is that? Well, we have an exciting event coming up in the near future as part of our tour. We are on the Gratitude Books Tour, and we're having several stops on that, and we're going to talk a lot more about that. Dar, welcome back.
Thank you.
Hey, what is your book?
My book is entitled Reignite Your Joy, Let God Lead Your Dance Through Life.
Okay, great. And Dar, who is the book for?
The book is for anybody who's looking for tools to navigate through trials and still experience hope and joy, which is what everybody needs today. We all need encouragement and empowerment, and I share tools that I learned from my recovery from addictions, the loss of two soulmates, breast cancer, and how God spoke to me and asked me to be His messenger to share His love and His joy with other people.
Well, that's a lot in a short period of time, and we'll unpack some of that in our next chapter. But there's a lot that's going on in your life, and I'm glad that you've captured it in a book to help other people. That's wonderful. Mary, what is your book?
My book is called Seed Stem Bloom, Lessons from My Faith-Led Journey Through Cancer. And I am a 2-time cancer survivor, and it is for anybody that has gone through cancer or their caregivers or family members. And my hope is that it spreads love and joy and gives people
love, joy, and peace, and it keeps them seeing the
hopeful.
big picture, right? Hopeful. I think that's a great
the word I was looking for.
Hopeful, yeah. Well,
Yes.
and I also happen to have a book myself. It's Men Grieve Too, and it's about a little bit of my story of my loss of my wife and my daughter, and from a male perspective, and how we can move forward if possible. And with hope is what it comes down to, and some gratitude and joy and love. So that's the quick rundown of why we are here, and we are coming up on the Gratitude Books Tour. You can find it on Facebook, you can find it at a lot of social media places. Please check it out, the Gratitude Books Tour. We even have a poster, and we will look forward to seeing you as part of that tour. Thanks for joining us. Welcome back to this chapter of Behind the Words TV. We are here with Mary Robinson and Dar Geiger again, and we're talking about the Gratitude Books Tour. We're talking about our books that we have out, and I'll just jump right in. Mary, what is the Gratitude Books Tour?
Oh, it's all about faith, love, joy, and peace.
Wow.
All in the nutshell.
Peace, love, and joy.
Yes.
Kind of a hippie theme, I think,
Yes.
from the 60s. Dar, what part of the peace, love, and joy are you?
I'm the joy part.
You're the joy part.
Yes.
Tell us more.
I've been called to be a messenger about how to find joy through different tools that God offers for us to help us get through our trials.
And your book's title?
My book's title is Reignite Your Joy, Let God Lead Your Dance Through Life.
Okay, wonderful. And Mary, we didn't ask you about your book's title.
Yeah, my book's title is Seed Stem Bloom, Lessons from My Faith-Led Journey Through Cancer, and I'm the love part of everything.
You're the love part. You know?
We could do all things with love.
Well, that's it. You know, it conquers all, right?
Yes, unconditional
there's
love.
a phrase of that. Love conquers all out there. Well, absolutely. Tell us about the title of your book. How did that come to be?
You know, I thought long and hard about the title, and I wanted something that had the word STEM in it, just because my fourth child, my daughter, said, "Mom, you need the word STEM in it because you had a stem cell transplant." And I was like, okay. And so I played around with it. I talked to my editor, and she said, well, what about from seed to stem? And I was like, seed, stem, bloom. It just came.
Boom.
It was like, and we were talking months. And I just thought, you know what? I bloomed so much throughout my cancer journey. And I am so blessed and grateful for everything that I went through, even though it was hard. But I had this seed inside of me that was planted by God. And I just had to share my story to help others. I mean, that's what it's all about. And so then, of course, the rest of the title, Lessons from My Faith-Led Journey Through Cancer, I learned a lot. And I wanted to share those tools and strategies that I use to survive for other people so that they can have some other tools in their toolbox to help them through any struggle.
Sure, sure. Wonderful. And I love how you have highlighted on the word cancer, you capitalize C-A-N, can. Isn't attitude so important?
So important. In fact, when I was journaling throughout my cancer experience, two-time cancer experience, I don't know if I mentioned that before, acute myeloid leukemia, I always had the word can in cancer capitalized because I wanted people to see that you can survive.
Right, right. Well, that attitude, Dar, really is important, isn't it? I mean, you talk about joy, and tell us about how attitude and joy got you through some of your roadblocks.
Well, I so relate to Mary because I'm a breast cancer thriver, and I chose as
Thriver, not survivor. I love it.
Thriver, yes,
Thriver.
we're
I love
thrivers.
that. I noticed that. I wanted to point it out.
And my book is about my whole biography. It's my life story about being born again in Jesus Christ and having a new beginning in life. And when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, I decided to call it the small c cancer, the big C Christ, because I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. So in 2020, which we all remember quite well, we've all been through a lot with that year. The good thing that God did with me was I was given more time to write a book. A friend asked me if I thought about writing my story. And so I said, let's pray about it. And I heard the Lord say, I want you to do it. It's going to be our book, and I want you to share my love and joy with other people. So that's how my book got started. And it's full of scripture and different tools that helped me. And when we tell our own story, oftentimes people can relate. So.
Exactly.
Well, it's I mean, I've read it. It's an amazing story, and you've had an amazing journey along the way.
And now, Paul, what about yours? You're the peace part of
Yeah.
this.
Well, peace, yeah. I mean, there's love and there's joy, but there's also peace. Yeah,
Yes.
I lost my wife and my 31-year-old daughter. My wife of 40 years, both died within about 9 months of each other. And as you can imagine, that was pretty traumatic to me. And so what I did was I scooped up every kind of support I could find. And I went to grief support groups, 2 of them actually, or 3 probably. At any rate, I ended up bumping into and helping a woman there who had even a more recent loss than mine. And that felt really good. I really enjoyed being, I basically just listened. That's all there was to it. But anyway, I really enjoyed that kind of a role. And I said, well, you know, I want to write a book to help other people grieving. And I went home and researched Amazon, of course, and there are literally thousands of books on grief. I said, the world does not need another book on grief. But then I went back to the grief group again next week, and I looked around, and by golly, there's 40 women at this group and 6 guys. Where are all the men? Mm-hmm. And so I found my calling, I found my niche, and I call it a calling because I just really feel, and it's been out now for a few months, and I get the goosebumps when I get a message from people I don't know over Facebook that say, I just lost my mother, or just lost my wife, and your book has helped me. And that's why I do it.
It's so rewarding to hear that.
Yes.
I've had that happen to me, and I'm sure you have too, Mary.
I have too.
Yeah,
That our book has really helped people, and that's basically what we're all about. And the way God brought us together is quite a miracle.
well,
too.
and that's a great segue, Barb. That's exactly. I think that synergy, that spirit, the Holy Spirit. I don't know. Mm-hmm. You tell me the way. Well, of course, I have a show, as you might know, for 3 to 4 years now. I've had either the Grow Your Biz show or Behind the Words TV. And on the Behind the Words TV segment, I have authors. Well, I met Dar. Tell us how we met.
Through another friend of mine who introduced, she is a connector, and I'm a connector too, so she connected Paul and I. And that's how we met.
A business networking group that I go to, and she went to. I did my pitch at the business meeting like I usually do. I say, my social media videos help tell and sell the story of your book or business. Nice pitch, huh? Anyway,
Great pitch.
Thank you. Short, right?
Short and sweet, to the point.
There you go. Well, anyway, our friend Stephanie connected us, and Dar and I started working together on her pitch and getting her book out there. Once I heard about her book, I knew we had to make it happen. And as far as being on the show, so you were on the. Do you remember what month it was you were on the show? Was it April or May?
It was, I believe it was March.
March. Okay. March. Yeah. Okay. And so March of 2022, Dar came on the show, and we formed a friendship and a bond, and we started working together a little more on getting her book out there.
Yeah.
And we're just good friends. And then tell us about how we came together, Mary.
Well, I think in 2018, I had a Candid Chats on Cancer show here on the
station,
studio.
right?
And so my book just got published in April of 2022, and I contacted Michael, the one that is in charge of this place, and I just said, hey, do you have any contacts or anything that that can help me get the word out of my book? And he said, well, let me do some digging, and here we met.
There's this Yahoo that does a show on our channel here, said Mike Wallace, in those words, I'm sure, no, about Behind the Words TV. He interviews authors, so
I was so grateful. I was just so grateful.
I'm really glad too that he put us together that way. So Mary and I had an episode as well. I don't know the number, but we got together and had a great show and had a great connection. And
yeah, that was in June.
And then do you remember, either of you remember how I contacted you or when or what I said?
I think it was a call from God.
Oh, absolutely.
You got this brilliant idea to bring the three of us together. Mary and I did not know each other, but you got this idea about love, joy, and peace. So we came together based on how God worked through Paul, and he was obedient to listen to God's prompting and brought us together. And so here we are together, the Gratitude Bookstore team. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
we've had some coffee. We've had lots of chatting.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Let's go into that a little bit. I mean, the idea hit me that, just me talking about my book, what if you can find peace after death, find peace during grieving. I don't know where the 60s peace, love, and joy thing came from, but I just said, Mary's story is about love and how love brought her through her difficulties, and Dar's story even has joy in the name of the book, and so peace, love, and joy. I said, do you remember, either one of you remember my approach to you? Do you remember?
Sure, it was like you want to do a hippie.
Did I call you or type you or?
I believe that you texted. Yeah. Maybe it was an email, actually.
I can't recall.
But I do recall.
I think it was an
when
email,
we
because
met,
I remember.
I showed up in hippie clothes.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we were, doing the whole get up.
Well, you did what we asked.
Did.
I did.
So our first planning meeting was at a coffee shop in Elkhorn, and always being the promoter, I said, well, we should take away some images, some views, some pictures here, and,
yes.
and Mary beat us all because she's the youngest, and yet she had the best hippie costume of all. Dar probably was a teenager in the 60s or something, and so I was more of the disco era, the 70s, but.
It was fun.
Mary just beat us all to the pulp there.
What brought us together was the joy of the Lord, you guys. He sees in us qualities that are going to give him glory.
Exactly.
And gratitude is the biggest tool you can have to get yourself from going out into a downward spiral.
Oh, man.
And that's what the three of us have learned, and that's what we want to share.
Well, yeah, we got together, we took pictures, we laughed, we picked a name at that coffee shop, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
It was a great process. We didn't have a whiteboard, but we had my tattered little notebook, and I think we made 10 or 12 names at least, classic brainstorming. And when we got to the Gratitude Books Tour, we circled that one. I said, that's the one.
Yes.
Because, well, we started with the summer of, or the summer of love, or the summer of
Whatever, yeah.
Well, but that was,
But you know,
summer
it's
was going
already
away.
fall.
We were losing our summer, so
Yeah.
we had to have a bigger picture there. So
Exactly.
you know, that was such fun, and I think the people at the coffee shop probably thought we were a little crazy, but.
And only God knows where this is going to go.
Well, absolutely, and Dard, tell us
trust.
a little bit about the future as far as generically about kinds of places that we're going to be stopping.
Yeah, well, we're doing some book signings together and selling our books together, and we'll be sharing our stories.
Right.
And that's something we have to
We've
develop.
been at a couple of bookstores so far, and we're talking about dates with a large retirement village complex, and looking forward to that. And who knows what other retailers out there? Retailers, hello, we're welcome to.
Yes.
We were at a bookstore signing 3 weeks ago. Anyway, a little while back, and I about lost my voice. We had so many people coming by; it was just fantastic. And so we got Mary this time to really get the energy and the synergy going. So I'm pretty excited about how to get all that going.
And they can connect with us on Facebook, other social media platforms. I believe you have LinkedIn. It's just Gratitude Books Tour, and you can find us, like us.
Yeah, Gratitude Books Tour on Facebook, absolutely,
Yes.
and on our own pages. Dar, you have a website for your book, don't you?
Not a website, no. I have
Well,
a Facebook site.
Oh, is it Facebook?
Yeah.
Tell us what it is.
Dar Geiger.
No, the reigniteyourjoybook.com or something like that.
Oh, to purchase the book, it's on Amazon, reigniteyourjoybook.com.
We'll take you to
purchase it. Yeah.
And Mary, where can they find your book?
My book is on Amazon, but it's also at a few local places,
Yeah, we're all
bookstores
kind
here
of in our local
here in
bookstores as
Omaha,
well.
and there's one in Fremont as well. And,
Okay.
and I do have a website. My website is called kaleidoscopeenergy.com.
Kaleidoscope Energy with a K, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful, wonderful.
Because you can shift your life with a kaleidoscope.
Oh, yeah.
Proper perspective.
Yes.
Very clever.
Love it.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, no, it was such fun getting together and doing that. My idea was that we have the synergy. We have the common themes: the peace, love, and joy, and then just to have the synergy of energy from God, from the themes that all comes together. Mary, do you have any other thoughts about that? What fun that is for you, or what?
Oh, it's
how it
so much
fits?
fun. I always feel like if you're in a group, so much more can be done. Just like the prayers, I'm gonna, like when you're praying to God, it says in the Bible, if you're, 2 or more are praying, then so much more can happen. And
Yeah.
I just love it that we're together and we're on the same team and we're here to support each other and we're here to help others.
And God also says in His Word that when we go through our trials, then we can be a comfort to other people. So that's what He wants us to do, to bring encouragement and comfort.
Right. Well, and that's what we're here for. I mean, there was a gentleman at our last bookstore signing that I got to talking to, and he had a situation where his brother had committed suicide. And I am not a theologian. I am not a trained counselor. I'm none of those things. However, I just listened to him a little bit, and he was carrying some heavy burdens. And by asking some questions, I think just helped him see some things from a different point of view and kind of relax. And he gave me a big hug and cried, and that was worth the whole day right there. It wasn't about selling books. And I've had that at another event too. I've told the story before. I was doing a farmer's market with Lisa Pelto of Concierge Marketing, who helped with the production of my book. And it was at Exarban Village, Stinson Market there, farmer's market. I think it was 105 degrees. You're on the cement. It was awful. And, I told Lisa, I said, people don't go to a farmer's market to buy a book about male grief. They go for asparagus or beets or something fun, or smelling salts. I don't
Honey.
know, whatever, something
Whatever.
different. What do people go to farmers markets for? And they had their dogs and their coffee, and anyway, and so I was kind of like, why am I wasting 5 hours in this hot weather. What is this all about? And a young man came up, probably in his 20s, to the table. And my book is, displayed, sitting up like that. And, typically what I see is men, they'll stop and they'll just stare at it for a while. And they're thinking. And believe it or not, I don't say anything. I know that's hard for you to believe.
It is.
Anyway, but I've trained myself, believe it or not. And finally he said, he says, a similar story. He said, this was a younger man. He says, my brother committed suicide not terribly long ago. And he said, my dad is not getting over it. And that suicide is so hard. It's so hard. And he said, my dad is not getting over it, and this would be perfect for him. And so, of course, I signed the book to his dad with the name in there. And do you want to know what one of my token signatures is? Especially in something like as difficult as that, I say something like, we are not here to answer why. We are just here to help you cry.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not about me. It just, it's to try to help people, because I've been through it twice.
Right,
and,
right.
you can say, why? But,
Well, oftentimes we don't know why.
Well,
and we don't
rarely
find out
do.
why. And then at some point, I feel like you just have to stop asking why.
Right.
And just
accept and trust God's plan.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's just about, empathy, showing up, and one of the phrases it's in my book is show up and shut up.
Yeah.
It's not about having the right thing to say, because we don't. We don't. And so, yeah. Closing thoughts, Mary, about your book as far as who it can help and why it can help, and people have said things about it. So,
Yeah, I've had letters from people, which is really wonderful. One person in particular said that she used it as a devotional. I have a lot of Bible scriptures in there. My book is mainly short stories throughout the whole thing, because I journaled a lot while I was going through cancer, so it's in real time. But then I added to it, and lots of perspective shifts were in there and whatnot. And she said she used it as a tool. Like in the morning, she would wake up and then she would write and reflect. And I thought, wow, that's so wonderful and empowering that she's able to do that for herself. I just really know that God wanted me to write this book. I have no doubt.
Yep.
No doubt.
No.
And I know it's going to help people.
We have just a quick moment about, I love one of your stories from when you were on the show before, and you talked about at XYZ moment, you knew the cancer left your body or something.
Yes,
Tell
I
us,
did.
Tell us about that.
Yes.
Before I do, that's awesome that it's a devotional guide, a structure. I love the short story format, and your short chapters are that way too.
Yes.
And anyway, I'll let you tell that story about.
Yeah, so I was, it was in the evening and I had a lot of pain in my chest and I was scared. And I remember closing my eyes and praying to God to please help my body function the way that He intended it to. Please help my organs function the way that they were supposed to. And while I was in deep prayer, I felt this cool breeze on my face, and I breathed in really gently through my nostrils all the way into my lungs. And I opened my eyes and nothing was there. And I thanked God for healing me, because my pain went away. I knew that I was in remission. And it was great because my doctor came in the next morning and I told him what had happened, and he was so excited for me, but he said, hey, we still got to do that bone marrow biopsy to make sure that you are in remission.
Right.
And I said, okay, and I did it, and I waited the few days to find out that I was in remission, and praise the Lord.
Yes.
But
Amen.
I knew it because I just had that faith.
Yeah. That's
God answers prayers in so many miraculous ways.
Amen. So true.
That's great. Dar, a God moment from you?
My God moment was when I was on the radiation table for treatment from breast cancer, and the radiation had to go very close over to my heart, and I was terrified. and I would turn my head off to the right and try to stay as calm as I could. But I went into my little secret place with the Lord, and I just said, God, I can't do this by myself. I need your help, you know. And he says, I'm here with you. And he said, you are my joy giver, and I want you to share my love and my joy with other people. And I was like, whoa, a joy giver. Yes, Lord, I'll receive that assignment with honor. And so that's what I've been doing.
So you ended up with a book.
Yeah.
And it's a dramatic, great story, one that has already brought and will continue to bring joy to many people. And Mary with the Love, you know, you didn't mention your family as kind of that love thing that
I had
boosted you.
such a great support system with my parents and my husband and my children, and they did everything they could to help things go more smoothly, because I was in the hospital for weeks at a time, and our community support was tremendous, you know, bringing meals to my kids so they can have nutritious ones, so Tim could be at the hospital with me. I just, you know, when you go through something like that, you realize how much love and support people want to give. And sometimes they don't know what to do.
Right.
And so I gave them ideas if they needed to. And I'm not a person that wants to get help from people, so I had to learn to let go of that. So if they were like, you know, what can I do for you? I would say, well, would you like to provide a meal? I mean, you know, it's just something.
It took me twice to figure that out. The first time when my daughter died, my family was in town, of course, and the funeral was on Saturday, and everybody's around for Sunday, and I don't know why, but I decided I had to make brunch for my family, and I did, and I'm messing around in the kitchen and all that. They're out on the deck talking, and I go, you know, this didn't feel right, and then when my wife died, a dear friend said, you know, what can I do? And especially hard for guys, I think, to ask for help, and we're macho, we can fix stuff, right? You know, and I said, you know what? Remember back? And I said, you know, Kim, a brunch for my family would be amazing. And she made them a fantastic brunch. Had my garage door code, and it's in the fridge, and then it was just a little thing, but it was so wonderful. So love does conquer all, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does.
And I tell you what, when I was going through everything too, all I could think about is wanting to raise my children into hardworking, respectable adults.
I remember you saying that. That's
yes,
beautiful.
And and you know, someone else could have been there to help out in the family, but I wanted to be there.
Yes,
and that gave me
my job.
the will,
the purpose,
to survive.
the drive. Yes, and I think that's our story as well. We
And
do
of
need
course,
to wrap up
positivity.
here, and so I will wrap up by saying that you are encouraged and welcome to come hear more of our stories. Come see if we can infuse you with a little peace, with a little love, a little joy, and get that to happen in your life, because that's what we're about. We're here as a group. Let's all hold hands and united. We're here as the Gratitude Books Tour, and we are looking forward to seeing you on one of our many stops coming up, the Gratitude Books Tour on Facebook. And thank you for watching the Behind the Words TV show.
God bless.
Ladies,
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you.